morning, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, so like Beth said, I work in the real estate and workplace services team for Google. Specifically within that larger org, I manage the E team, and that E stands for Environments, Experience, and Ecology. And I thought it would be fun to start with a picture of people instead of a diagram about what we do, especially since this is a Women in Clean Tech and Sustainability conference. Look at all those women up there. There are 11 people on my team, all of whom are fabulous and wonderful. 8 of them happen to be women. And as Beth was saying, the team is responsible for ensuring that sustainability and health outcomes are delivered in our global portfolio across building design and construction and operations. I think it's really interesting to talk about why we're doing this work and Google's unique perspective about sustainability. Over 90% of our time is spent indoors, and a large portion of that is spent at work. And when you think about that, you can imagine what a huge impact the indoor environment is having on your health and your ability to be at your best. So that's what my team pays attention to and focuses on in the realm of sustainability. We really look at people first and want to make sure that the buildings that we're delivering are having a positive impact on people's health, that people are there in that work environment and able to deliver at their best. And it's not just about performing at work. It's about having the energy to go home and play with your kids, go out to dinner with your friends, and recharge, because that's a vital component to what makes you a successful person at work and have passion about what you do. And then, of course, not to diminish our focus on sustainability, we pay very close attention, and it has been a big priority of Google since the founding of the company that the way that we use our natural resources is critical, and we're always looking for ways to optimize energy, water, and waste. So what do we do specifically in these amazing environments that you hear so much about at Google? This is what my team works on, and we are looking at all of these qualities in the indoor environment: air, light, sound, nature inside the space. All of these things have a big impact on how you are at work and your health. And we believe at Google that paying attention to people's health will point you in the right direction as you look at the health of larger systems around you. And so, things like great air quality and comfortable acoustic environments, comfortable thermal environments, the interplay of electric light and daylight. If any of you have sat next to a window with a computer screen, you know that it can really impact your ability to do great work. And everyone in this room is doing amazing, incredible work. And we don't always pay attention to how the built environment is impacting that ability. Lest I not forget that we also have an incredible program around healthy materials. We really pay attention to the kind of materials that we put in our environment, try to minimize chemicals that of concern and chemicals that have a negative impact on human health. And then we pay attention to nature outside the space. When you close your eyes and imagine the kind of environment you want to be in, do you imagine a conference room? Probably not. You probably think of a place outside. So how do we bring more of that awe and wonder that we have when we are outside in nature into the buildings that we design? But all of that being said, environments can only do so much. It doesn't matter how beautiful a space we deliver, how great the air is, how clean the air is, how much daylight and access to nature, how comfortable you are. If there are other stressors outside of your work environment that are factoring into how you are and showing up as your whole self as work. So we know we're feeling this really acutely right now. The world feels really stressful right now. And it was probably about 2 months ago that we were in a staff meeting for my team, and we were kind of winding down, and I realized that I was holding on to, these are all people that I love and that I work with all the time, that I'm completely comfortable around. But I realized that I was holding on to the edge of the conference room table and my knuckles were white, like I was sitting through a horror movie. And I had kind of an epiphany in that moment that it wasn't about the people in this room or the work that we were trying to do. It was about things that were happening outside of the room that were impacting my ability to be there for those people. So we kind of made a pact that we would show up with our whole selves and start talking about those things and be there for one another, because particularly in this electoral cycle, it can feel really charged for women and women in clean tech and sustainability. The stakes feel really high. So we can build resilient environments, but how do we build resilient minds? How do we maintain the ability to overcome fear and self-doubt and uncertainty in a world that's full of that? And this is a slide from a great neuroscientist with the Mayo Clinic who has a fabulous website called stressfree.org. I really encourage everyone to check it out. So fortunately, we weren't the first team to ask this question at Google. And there are some great resources that some really brilliant minds have been working on. And Meng Tan was a Google engineer. And he worked at Google for about 8 years as an engineer and worked on really challenging, tough engineering problems and got Google started in a lot of those early search wins. And he also had an epiphany and realized that this was a really stressful environment to try to do really great world-changing work, and came to the practice of mindfulness. And mindfulness, for those of you that don't know or are not familiar with it, is kind of a dummy's guide to meditation. And as someone who has always struggled to meditate, because I always feel like I fail, I'm like, I didn't achieve oneness with the world. I don't feel more self-aware. What the heck am I doing wrong? I'm just not going to do this anymore. So mindfulness is really great because it connects meditation to how your brain works. It connects it to neuroscience, which makes sense to me, makes sense to engineers. And the other thing that it does is it's non-judgmental. All it encourages you to do is pay attention to your emotional state right now in this present moment, without judgment, and it gives yourself some space to do things differently. For example, I'm feeling really anxious in this conference room with a bunch of people that I love. Maybe I need to change the way I'm working. Maybe I need to step back and recalibrate. We all have lizard brains that take us in one direction, and mindfulness is a great way to bring you back the other direction. The other great tool that we have here at Google that is public, both of these things are public, was Project Aristotle. They studied what makes teams effective and high-performing. And the number one thing is psychological safety. So do we feel safe to take risks and to be there for one another and to show up and say, hey, I'm having a tough day. I really need some support in a different way from my team. So all of that being said, and since we are 72 hours away from going off of a cliff or jumping into the future, sorry to show my own personal bias, I thought we would do a mindfulness exercise to start our day. So this exercise is about connecting, and it's about empathy. And empathy is our ability to see things from another person's point of view. And the more we perceive people to be like us, the more we're able to empathize with them. We are not red, we are not blue, we're not Republican, we're not Democrat. We're people on this earth trying to get through life. So we're going to do an exercise that allows us to tune into that. So find a position where you feel alert and comfortable. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like. Take 2 or 3 breaths where you exhale for longer than you inhale. Be aware of yourself in this present moment. When you are feeling settled and centered, I want you to call into your mind the face of someone that you recently had a struggle with, a disagreement, difference of opinion. And when you have that person in your mind, I want you to think to yourself, this person has a body and a mind just like me. This person has feelings, thoughts, and emotions just like me. This person at one time or another has been sad, disappointed, angry, hurt, and confused just like me. This person wishes to be safe, healthy, and loved just like me. This person has work that is really important to them, just like me. And this person wants to be happy, just like me. And finally, I want you to send a silent message to that person and wish them well. Take a few more minutes and do a couple more deep breaths. Center yourself, feel yourself in this moment. Get ready for an amazing day with amazing people. Thank you all very much.